Buying a home is a significant financial and emotional decision, and making a mistake in the process can have long-term consequences. When you're trying to figure out how to buy your first home, or if it's been a while since your last purchase, it can all seem overwhelming. To help you out, these are some of the most common mistakes to avoid in the home buying process. Number 1 is not getting pre-approved first. Home shopping without a pre-approval is like going to Hall's Chop House without having any idea how much cash you have in your wallet, assuming you don't have a credit card. You do not want to get the check without being able to pay for that tomahawk steak. Or on the other hand, what if you could have gotten dessert and didn't because you didn't know if you could afford it? I know that's a silly example, but skipping the step of getting pre-approved for a mortgage before starting the home search can lead to so much disappointment and wasted time for everyone involved. It's important to know how much you can afford and get pre-approved by a lender to have a clear understanding of your budget. A good lender will talk to you about all of your options so you'll know what loan program, down payment amount, interest rate, and monthly payment will be. Plus, if a house comes on the market and you want to make an offer, you will need a pre-approval in order to do that. Trust me, I know it's tempting to want to look at houses before you have that letter in hand, but you don't want to fall in love with the house and then miss out because someone else was ready to go and beat you to it. Also, when working on this pre-approval, make sure it is in fact a full pre-approval and not a pre-qualification. Some lenders call it the opposite, but basically you want the underwritten pre-approval, where they go ahead and pull your credit, verify your assets, tax, and income statements. It is a lot of paperwork, but it's critical for purchasing a home. Obviously, if you're paying cash, this doesn't apply to you, but if you are paying cash, make sure the proof of funds is ready to go and that your cash isn't tied up in something else that will take time to transfer before making an offer. The second mistake is trying to time the market. Far too often I hear from people that they are waiting for the market to crash before buying, but predicting the market accurately is nearly impossible. Real estate markets are influenced by numerous factors, such as economic conditions, interest rates, housing demand, and government policies. Even the most experienced professionals can't accurately time the market consistently. The risk you take with trying to time the market is that if prices continue to rise, you may end up paying more for the same property. Here in Charleston, we are still seeing a shortage of inventory and high buyer demand, so it would take a lot of external factors for the housing market to crash. My advice would be to focus on your personal financial situation and long-term goals. If you can afford to buy a home now and it aligns with your budget and lifestyle, it may be a good time to make a purchase rather than renting. Real estate is a long-term investment, and over time, property values generally appreciate. It's important to remember that a home is not just an investment, but also a place to live and create memories. Work with a trusted real estate professional who can guide you through the process and help you make an informed decision based on your needs and the local market. The third mistake is not budgeting for all of the expenses of a home purchase and home ownership, like closing costs, inspection and financing fees, property taxes, insurance, and any outstanding repairs. Most people know about the down payment cost, but all of these other expenses add up fast. And if you aren't expecting to pay these thousands of dollars during the home buying process, it can throw off your financing and budget. Here's a video where I break down these costs further if you're interested. The last thing you want is to experience financial strain after moving into your beautiful new home and not have any money left over for furniture, necessities, or important repairs. When you're renting, your rent typically covers the cost of all maintenance and repairs, but when you buy a home, it's all in your own hands. So you have to make sure you are properly budgeting for things like cleaning, yard maintenance, plumbing and electrical services, HVAC maintenance, roof and gutter maintenance, and pest control. Mistake number 4 is assuming you need 20% down. It's a common misconception that you need 20% down to buy a house. There are many programs available now for a lower down payment, even as low as 3 or 3.5% conventional loans, or even zero down options. Of course, putting more down means you'll pay less interest and your monthly payment will be lower, which are both very good, but trying to save for 20% down in an inflationary environment can be difficult. For example, if someone tried to save up to a 20% down payment starting in 2020, home prices have gone up so much that they might be completely priced out of the market now. It's also not always best to put all of your savings down because that cash can come in handy for other things, like all of the costs we just talked about, or just for having a safety net. Here's where talking to a local lender is also important, so you can figure out what down payment option is best for you. Number 5, this one is a pet peeve in the industry. If you're buying a house, don't make any major purchases. It may seem obvious, but if you're looking or under contract for a house, do not purchase a new car, rack up credit card bills, or, quit your job, as all of these will affect your debt-to-income ratio and change or drop your ability to buy the house. Deals have sadly completely fallen apart due to buyers not knowing this, so don't let that be you. If you are needing to purchase a car or anything substantial during the process, just make sure to clear it with your lender first. Mistake number 6 is not getting an inspection. This was more of an issue during the pandemic when the housing market went insane, but a home inspection is one of the most important things you can do when buying a home. You want to make sure that the home is in good condition and doesn't need any major repairs, and walking through it during a showing and looking is not enough to reveal any issues that could be hiding. Here in South Carolina, you'll also want a CL100 inspection too, to make sure there are no termites or fungal growth. Any major issues in the home could throw off financing as well, as many banks won't lend on a house in total disrepair unless it's a renovation loan. Even if you love a house so much that you don't mind if it needs all the repairs, always get an inspection anyways, so at least you know what you're dealing with. Number 7 is not reading and understanding the contract. Although your agent is there to help you understand the terms of an offer or contract, it does not mean you should just be blindly signing everything without reading it. Remember, you are the one signing these legal contracts, so you should always be carefully reviewing and understanding the terms of all documents to avoid any surprises later on. It's better to ask too many questions than to assume anything. It's essential to read and understand all the terms and conditions of the contract you're signing to avoid any legal and financial complications. Number 8 is making emotional decisions. Home buying can be an emotional process. Trust me, I've been there and felt all the emotions too. It's important to stay rational and objective, do thorough research, and think long term. What are your goals with this home? Are you planning on living in it for 20 years or only 2 and then renting it out? A number of factors can determine how you should approach the home buying process now and what you should be looking for. Factors like job stability, family size, and lifestyle changes should be considered to make sure the home meets your needs, not just now, but in the long term. If you focus too much on your current needs and preferences, you could be overlooking the potential resale or rental value of the property in the future. When purchasing a home, it's important to consider location, property condition, and market trends to make sure you're making the best logical decision in the long term. Last mistake is not working with a qualified real estate agent. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a realtor. There are so many other agents in my own market that do an amazing job helping their clients through the home buying process. What we are here to do is provide valuable guidance, help negotiate offers, provide insights into the local market, and help you avoid these mistakes. The buyer's agent's commission is typically paid for by the seller too, so it only stands to benefit you through the process. This is true for new construction too. Having your own buyer's agent is still important when buying a newly built house because your buyer's agent is the only one representing you in the transaction. Overall, a good realtor will help take the stress off of you so you can enjoy the home buying process. And that's all. I hope you learned something from these common first-time homebuyer mistakes. If you have done any of these things, then it's okay. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way, but hopefully you learned for next time. Buying a home is a major decision, and that's why I love helping people through the process to make it easier. If you know of anyone looking to buy or sell in Charleston, I'd love the opportunity to see if we're a good fit. Thank you for watching.